Hello, everybody. We are getting started here momentarily.
What season is it, chat?
Cancellation
Yes.
season, apparently.
Yeah.
Fuck, all my games are shutting down, dude. Rumbleverse, Pokemon TCG Online. I can't catch a break today.
Well,
you gotta
Pokemon
stop
thing, we're
enjoying
nothing of
things.
value.
Are you getting the new? Are you? Is there a problem with the new Pokemon TCG client? Is it just like it doesn't have all the stuff you need or something?
Jeff, the most recent bug found was there is a chance where you can load into a game and you have your opponent's deck. That's how buggy this client
That
is.
sounds like a fun time. But that's just a normal feature in Marvel Snap.
That's it. I was fuck, you stole my fucking joke, you piece of shit.
I always snap when shit like that happens. Although I haven't played Snap in a while, and I'm a better man for it. I think right now
I play at least once a week.
I'm a better man for it. Okay, all right. What do we need?
I mean, you don't drive that much, so there's no time for you to play,
exactly,
you know?
right? I don't have a commute, so. All right, let's see.
Still my favorite shit that happened 2022.
Go over there. Let's bring up Stream Deck.
See, another zoom out choke in Final Fantasy 14. God damn it.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now!
They should let it rock. They should fucking ruin the entire game. Go fucking the wall
Did
route.
you guys hear that?
Just
You guys might not have heard that.
many people hate this game. No, we didn't hear Chuck shit.
Yeah, because you guys were on the right thing.
Hey, you guys hear me?
There we go.
Now.
There we go.
Okay. Just see here. Why is it like that? Yeah, well, I just gotta fix this part and then we'll be good. All right, that looks good. Bring up this. Live.
I need that near set. I'm so happy I didn't got into that near anime because it got like in hiatus for like forever now.
Ooh, introducing
You had a
managing moderators. These users have the same capabilities as standard moderators, but in addition, they can manage blocked words and change chat modes in live. All right, I guess
That sounds like a lot of work.
that sounds like something to hand over to you specifically. All right, let's copy this. All right.
It was a lot of fun checks. Yeah, AJ. God damn it, Jeff. I was playing the that freelancer mode.
Yeah, it's good.
That's fun. That's fun.
I need to get into that shit.
Oh, it's good. Christian is the Senate.
I need to. I used to speed run Hitman. It's fun. Got that Sapienza 20-second run. That shit was tight.
Yeah, guys, I trimmed my beard down again because I got all that Manscaped stuff and got a little bit excited. So my beard was already relatively short, so it's really tried. I had to bring it down even shorter again. But as we see, it all grows back very fast.
Just one of the drapes to match the carpet.
I think things on the rings of Jupiter. You will never.
Okay.
What's the line?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you talking
Nailed
about?
it. Absolutely nailed it.
Drops of Jupiter in her hair.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Train, big Train fans.
Yeah, Train played at MusicCon.
Train
the
played
last one,
constantly
maybe.
at the Kroger I worked at on the PA system.
Well, to be clear, I meant like the actual band,
You can do it.
not
You
like
can
the
do it.
PA.
The band playing on the PA system at Kroger too, but yes, I know what you mean.
You can do it faster
Let me
than
wash
20
my
seconds.
armpit.
I was yes.
Sapienza.
Yeah, you can. I think you can do it faster than Sapienza. I think you can do it like in 10 seconds.
I always finish in 10 seconds at Sapienza.
That's what I heard about you.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I think I am ready Bonesaw is ready. And there's that. Okay. Mike, are you good?
Mikey, good. You've you've tweeted.
I tweeted.
Did all this stuff.
I gotta get Stream Elements open, but we can do that. We're good. I'll do that. Do that in a bit. Okay. Let's get started, Mike. I'm gonna count us in. You ready?
Oh, remember last week you forgot to read a couple of super chat? Do you read it now, or do you read it for Thursday? Because it was Thursday
still.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll read it here, or we should read it on because it was for decides.
Yeah, whatever. We'll just read them. Well, if we wait next week, we'll forget, or 2 days we'll forget. Let's read them with the rest of them.
I'll remind you.
Sounds good.
I'll remind you.
All right. So let's see. Okay, I'm counting this in.
Mm-hmm.
In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof, woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, no woofs, Jeff? Woof for me. Woof for me like a good boy.
Woof, woof, woof.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Today, Nintendo is reportedly not going to be at E3. And what's going on with the Direct? Is it going to be one? We're also going to talk about our favorite Game Boy Advance box art. How's it going, Jeff? You already had to podcast with me for 3 hours today. What's another 2?
Yeah, well, what the hell's another 2? Exactly what I had to say to myself to like really psych myself up for this. So
there you go.
I don't know. I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be back on Nintendogs. It's one of my favorite shows I do every week. So let's.
Which is many now. So,
yeah,
hey.
Very many. I lose count sometimes, but I don't know. I was looking forward to this. I think we got a good audience that likes to hear about Nintendo, has a lot to say about Nintendo. So let's do a good show for them tonight.
Probably the podcast you do with the least amount of responsibilities personally, too, huh?
That's nice, right? Which is why it was weird. I had to run down here a little bit early to get the stuff set up for one of our sponsors later. But I think I got everything in place. We'll see. It'll be fun.
Well, for all the people who are watching live, thank you so much for joining us. Hit that thumbs up button if you can. It helps us out. You can leave a super chat. I see we already got one there from Steven. Thank you. We will read all the super chats eventually. I promise. I'm saying that because last podcast we did, we forgot to read 2 of the super chats. So we already apologize to the Mar feed, and we'll read those later too. I feel bad about that. But I promise we will never, ever mess up anything else again in our lives.
There it is. There's the guarantee, everybody. It's the one you've been waiting for. We promise never to mess up again.
All right, let's get into this, Jeff. There's a lot of things I want to talk to you about, actually. Actually, let's start with this. So there's been a report that I believe it was IGN. I probably should have written that down here, but I think so that Nintendo won't be at E3 along with Microsoft and Sony. None of the big 3 are going to be there. And you've been saying this too, right? So I guess like what does this mean? Especially a Nintendo who's had a presence at least at every E3 that I can remember. Were they at the last in-person one? Is that correct?
So what they did was, it was disappointing because every year before that, they'd have a big decked out booth. I mean, you remember obviously everyone remembers the Breath of the Wild year, but they had the Mario Odyssey year where it was a tiny little awesome. New Donk City. It was incredible.
They had that great Luigi's Mansion 3 booth, which was like the spooky little mansion inside. Yeah, I remember the first E3 I went to, I think, was when they had the Skyward Sword booth. And like, gosh,
yes.
I'm so old now. I was like, so cool. And that stuff always ruled.
So what they did for the last year was not really have any games on the show floor. Instead, they just kind of ran their Nintendo Direct Treehouses live.
That's right.
From the show. And you could come and watch those, but there wasn't much else to do there. Now, as people that had meetings, we could still go to Nintendo and go upstairs to their behind the scenes booth, which is what we did every year.
They always had that weird upstairs area where like Shigeru Miyamoto would be like sneaking around and whatnot.
Yes, and so we would go up there and we still got to play some games, but that was always the shadow E3. Not really. It's it's normal E3, totally normal stuff, but so it, they were still there. They still had a presence. They were still, and they made it clear they thought E3 was important, which is why they kept showing up even when it felt like they were. We're 1 foot in and one foot out. It still felt like they were still pretty well anchored into E3. Now, having come off of the pandemic, having come off of last year where they didn't have a showcase at all during June, no Nintendo Direct last June, it seems like they don't want to sort of begin a new relationship with this other company, ReedPop, where it's like, oh, we're not just going to pick up where we left off because this isn't the same company. This is a whole new thing. This would require whole new contractual agreements. And the vibe I get from what I hear is those sorts of things are so behind schedule for this E3 that there's no way that these companies could participate even if they wanted to. It's just so behind the eight ball on that stuff. It just was never going to happen. So the easiest thing for everyone involved in terms of those big platform holders is, well, let's just go ahead and do our own things if we're going to do anything at all. It's hard to predict what Nintendo's going to do. I would imagine that they probably would have something in June, but they're going to be coming off of Tears of the Kingdom. So I don't know. It's going to be strange.
Like, it's both like, okay, well, you have this big release, you decompress, but also you got to tell people what's next, especially if we're thinking there isn't going to be a Switch 2 anytime soon. Oh, what are you doing this holiday to sell us on the Switch, aside from just whatever Pokemon thing? But even then, you're going to have to talk about whatever that Pokemon thing is this year.
Yep, exactly.
So a lot to unpack there, Jeff. Yeah. I mean, what does this mean for this E3 without having Nintendo or the other ones? Like, what is this E3 going to look like, and does it still have a chance to succeed?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this E3 is going to be mostly still intact.
Jeff, I can't hear you.
Okay. That's just weird. You guys, chat can hear me, right? Hello.
I can't hear you.
Chat can hear me.
Wait, it might have been my fault.
It's definitely, every chat can hear me, so yeah, we're good.
I'm sorry. Everybody was on me.
We're fine.
I feel bad.
That happens to me sometimes too. You like go to wipe something off your shirt.
I just had literally to jiggle this stupid thing and it worked.
Same, yeah, it happens to me all the time.
Jeff, what does this mean for E3? Can E3 even still be successful without the big three? The big three, no-go E3?
Yeah, I think it's going to be just fine.
Chat's reminded me I said I would never screw up again. Like 5 minutes ago. Damn it. All right.
Listen, you couldn't hear yourself screw up, so basically it's like you never screwed up. Yeah. I'm trying to look. There's someone provided me a list of companies, and I was like, I'm not exactly going to just repeat the list, but it is a lot of big publishers for the most part. It's not, I'll say it's not Activision, it's not EA, but it's most of the other ones. And so it's going to look like a Tokyo Game Show. It's going to look like a Gamescom. Gamescom's big, makes a lot of money. I don't know if E3 is the right sort of thing to try to turn into a Gamescom, but maybe. I think it's going to be mostly fine because these companies were always sort of in and out and unreliable, and Sony hasn't been there for years. And Microsoft, while a part of E3, took their business across the street, and people still thought of it separately, even though you needed your E3 badge to get in. And Nintendo didn't have a lot of stuff during 2019, and E3 still kind of happened. And obviously, it's diminished. Of course, it has been. Everyone's been talking about this for a decade. We knew this was happening. I think it's going to be fine.
Is it going to be, again with ReedPop, is it going to feel more PAX-y, more kind of fan focused? Do you think?
Well, I think ReedPop needs to do that. I mean, whether or not they can pull that off, because they are also still trying to keep it as businessy as well. But it's like there's business days, right? I can't remember now what the actual layout. I
don't want to say too much about E3 yet. Still,
yeah. So
I gotta start thinking about I have to start thinking about travel for the staff and stuff. Ugh.
Right. I know I'm like we need to figure out what we're doing for E3 too, because we want to do stuff, but it's like we're like in the midst of beginning those conversations, and now it's like, oh, do they even know what E3 is? But I think that they could probably attract some people. E3 still has name cachet. There's a reason ReedPop wants to do it. It's going to be tough for them to turn into a very appealing show as opposed to a PAX, which already knows what it is. People know how to go to PAX and have fun. That's still going to be a big question mark at E3. Like, you can go there. Is it going to be worth your time, your money? Who knows?
Let me ask you this now. It's just kind of talking about Nintendo and shows in general, because it seems like pretty much everybody is expecting a February Direct. I'm wondering what your pulse is on that. If you're expecting one, and what you think might be showing up at it.
Yeah, I mean, everything I'm hearing, and it's all just sort of reiterating it. It continues to be the week of February 6th. Over and over and over again, every little detail I get is basically a week from now. We should begin hearing about all this stuff. I think it's probably late in the week, so don't. If the February 6th is going to come around, we're not going to hear about it, and people are going to freak out. Like there's nothing happening. First of all, I'm not guaranteeing it for that week. I'm just saying that's what everything's sort of pointing to right now. I don't think that's too surprising because they always have one in February or at the, March at the latest. That one year they had kind of one a little bit later in March. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen pretty soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if all these indicators are exactly right, especially with that stuff shaking loose with Advance Wars 1+2, where it's like, oh, I got a new game idea. They're telling retailers to take pre-orders again. They're probably going to just drop that in a Nintendo Direct real quick and push it out the door real fast, and then they'll have a bunch of announcements about other stuff, and then we'll get some updates on Tears of the Kingdom.
Kind of wish it would give me time to finish Fire Emblem before dropping Advance Wars on me, but it seems like they kind of just want to get that out there.
Yeah, I think they want to get it out before the end of the fiscal. Sure.
Yeah. So you say you expect to see Tears of the Kingdom. Like, is it going to be mostly Tears of the Kingdom, or is it going to be here's a little bit of that, but there's going to be a whole another Direct that's really going to dive deep in Tears? Are we at least going to get that trailer moment like we had with Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, because I think this is the pre-order moment, right? This is This is opening up the game for pre-orders. Buy the game now, and you need something big to get people emotionally invested in that. And so I do think this probably will be like the big moment. Again, this is not informed by anything. This is speculation. But I think it's like a safe bet, right? That sounds right.
I mean, it's been a kind of a complaint that like, hey, where is the hype for this? This game's coming out in a few months now, right? So I hope so. So hopefully we'll have some exciting things to talk about next week if this is all kind of moving along here. And Jeff, there was a new Mario movie clip revealed. It kind of shows a bit more of that section we saw in the trailer where Mario and Donkey Kong are kind of fighting in a Smash Brothers style arena. In the new clip, Mario gets the cat power-up suit, which is fun to see the cat suit there from Mario 3D World.
I did think that was fun, yeah.
Yeah, but we also hear Donkey Kong's voice from Seth. I almost said Seth Rollins. That's not right. Seth. What's his name? Not Seth Green. That's another one too.
Oh, Seth Rogen.
Thank you. We got there.
Is Seth Rollins Jewish too? Because Seth Green and Seth Rogen are.
Don't know. I'm certainly not going to guess.
I'll ask him.
Okay, you ask him.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, I guess I don't. Not. It was even less likely that Seth Rogen was going to do like some kind of a voice here. Like he's always just Seth Rogen, but
yes.
Even then, I was like, man, that is just Donkey Kong with Seth Rogen's voice, not really doing anything there. Kind of, again, it's one thing I bet I'll get over real soon, but kind of weird.
Yeah, like some people are doing voices, like in that clip. I mean, we heard Toad, and that's Peel or Keenan Michael Key, I think is what it is. So it's Key, and he's
good job.
Doing like a voice, and so it doesn't just sound like Keenan Michael Key, just
He's
like hello,
acting.
he's like voice acting. It's okay. Well,
I
that's
know you don't like it, but like Pratt's putting a little something on the voice. There's something there.
In some lines, yes, but come on, some lines are just Pratt. Like, yeah,
I don't know.
Okay. Fine.
I'm just saying I don't hear it. I hear him doing a little bit. He's doing something with his voice each time. I'm not saying if it's good or not. He's doing something. And did you saw Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, right? There was that part where all the Seth
I kind of had it on the background
characters-
while doing other stuff, but yes, and I liked it.
Yeah, there's that part where all the Seth Rogen characters from all different cartoons like have a scene together.
That's very
like,
good.
It's like, oh yeah, he's done this a lot, and it now feels like, yeah, this is just his 7th one of these, I guess. And it's like, man, all right, I guess.
I'm not tone deaf. Some lines he reads with the thing, and some lines he just sounds like Chris Pratt.
He's just, he sounds like Chris Pratt, but he sounds like Chris Pratt with slight Brooklyn
and
accent.
some lines, yes.
I mean,
I hate you all.
In all the lines, but yeah, that's fine.
You two specifically are making me feel crazy because everyone else notices this. You guys just don't.
Nah. I will say, I mean, okay, I don't even know why I'm going to tell you this because it's going to upset you. I think I prefer Chris Pratt's Mario to Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, because we've almost heard more of Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong so far than we have of Mario. So, like, he had more lines in a row than Mario's had so far.
You're not wrong. I just want to see this movie, Jeff. I'm sure it's going to be a really good time. And celebrity voice acting is just such a it's a curse that we've been stuck with for a long time, since the era of Robin Williams being this huge deal in Aladdin. And it's weird how some of the other companies, especially like a DreamWorks and Illumination, just goes insane with that. Like, at what point is it like, wow, Is it really like number crunching? Like, this movie's going to make $10 million more because we hired Seth Rogen for $4 million to be the voice of Donkey Kong, right? Like, I can't imagine it actually works that way. It's got to just
be like, because like the marketing of the movies and making the movies are so intertwined that it's like, well, we know that we can get Seth Rogen onto a late night talk show to talk about the movie. And if we get like Charles Martinet, we can do that, but we know we can do that with Seth Rogen. We know we can do that with Chris Pratt. And so it's like just kind of built in like, oh, well, that just makes all of this other stuff easier. So let's just use them. And they do a good job. And that's true. Sometimes they do a good job. I don't know if it makes sense here, but whatever.
Hey, Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line is getting a free demo tomorrow, February 1st, for Switch and PlayStation 4. This is featuring 30 playable songs. That's pretty beefy for a demo. It includes songs from select games. I believe it was actually like from Final Fantasy 2, 7, 14, 15, maybe 13, some random ones there. Excited for the 14 ones. So yeah, I'm going to check that demo out. I'm pretty excited for this. I like Final Fantasy music. I like rhythm games. I've always enjoyed the Theater Rhythm series, so I'll be happy to have it on my Switch.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you. It is good for me. Yeah.
Jan likes these games too, so... Yes.
Me and Jan will.
You guys can have a little powwow. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Why don't we read some of these super chats we got here before we take our first break? Then, Jeff, let's read those couple we missed from last time, and we got a couple new ones here.
Yeah, those. Okay, so it was Musubi Asimya or Azama said
it's not enough that we just forgot to say it last week. Now you got to mispronounce his name.
It's Azeyma, and there's no guarantee that it's a he. So we could just be messing up left and right here,
all
Mike.
Right.
Sonic the Hedgehog Solidarity, Mike. I can't believe I had to read that from last week. And then El Grug. So I got the beard shaver with the promo code MESS, and I need Mike and only Mike to explain why the shaver case has a sack of balls on the zipper.
Well, because, I don't know if you know this, but the lawnmower is for shaving your balls.
There it is. Although he's talking about the beard shaver, but still, like it's a thing. Like it's part of the ball shaving universe.
It's a part of the identity there, you know. It's just it's we're all having fun here talking about testicles and removing the hairs from them, you know. It's a design aesthetic.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you.
Right. It's like, Kingdom Hearts, there's like a lot of hearts and things like that. There's a lot of balls. We just got to go with the branding, and we're honestly pretty happy about it.
Should we just go into the ad now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because speaking of which, guys, if you don't know what he's talking about, Manscaped makes some fantastic products. Isn't that right, Jeff?
Yeah, that's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger. There it is, everybody. The Beard Hedger.
So Jeff, they don't just make products for your balls?
They don't just make... Well, listen, we always say on the show that the beard is the ball sack of the head. We say that constantly. So I think,
get told that a lot.
So I think this is a very useful tool for dealing with exactly that. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using code MESS, that's MESS, for 20% off and free shipping. Mike, we both have used this now. I really love this thing. The big thing for me is this little guard here where it's adjustable. It's got a little dial. It goes from 0.5 millimeters, so it's basically a really close shave, which is like down to the skin. I was so surprised how close of a shave that was. And then you go all the way up to 10 millimeters, and then just clean up your beard a little bit, and you don't have to take off the guard and go through a messy drawer with all the pieces in there. It's so much more convenient, right?
Yeah, my last trimmer, it was just a bunch of different guards I'm taking on and off, and here it is just that slide thing. So, I can go really low on my beard and then or my head, and then not quite as low for the beard. But still, it does pop off, and it's easy to clean and then throw right back on there. So, yeah, it's super convenient. Also, USB-C charging, which is pretty nifty. I didn't even realize that any manscaping or any kind of grooming tech was using USB-C yet. We made it.
Yeah, it's like really nice. It like attaches really securely, and it just feels premium all around. I really continue to be really impressed. I really do love this thing, and I'm gonna keep using it. Some points here. It's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Beard Hedger. Oh, this thing is a juggernaut of fixing faces. First off, this cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. So
the wheel is the deal.
The wheel is the deal.
Look, I'll give them some new ones since they like their rhymes so much. I'll help them out.
And like I said, it goes from 0.5 to 10 because it has 20 different beard lengths. So you have the 0.5 and the 1. It goes on the integers as well. So it's just like a 1.5.
Those lengths be your strengths.
Exactly. There he is, everybody. Well, the beard hedger is made for any length that is your strength. It has a special feature for all my bald-faced boys out there. The hedger has a built-in advanced lift comb technology that allows for a smoother and complete shave. And that's what I was talking. Like, it got so close, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was like actually surprising.
It was a completely different texture than when I was doing my last one. It sounds weird to say that, but it's also just easier. It was just cutting. Like, I wasn't having to do as many pass-throughs. It was nice.
Once again, it's also waterproof, so you could use it in the shower, send all those hairs down the drain with all the other terrible things you've done. It also comes with titanium-coated T-blades that are tough on hair, but smooth on your face, leading to a single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The beard hedger is a high-tech piece of art in a travel-size package with a long-lasting battery, universal charging, and a strong motor. With 20 lengths at just one stroke of the trimmer, it has never been so easy to look this dreamy. Your face,
strokes for my books.
Your face is your first impression, and your beard is your most important accessory. So make sure you have the right tool for the job with the beard hedger. The company that helped reduce nicks and cuts on your special place has come to save your face. So get 20% off and free shipping worldwide with the code MESS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code MESS at Manscaped for the beard hedger. One stroke, one guard, 20 lengths. Go out there and make it happen, everybody. I think it's going to be a good gift for Valentine's Day. If you got a man in your life, you want to send this out to. I mean, listen.
You should have a man in your life.
You should. All those guys in your DMs saying, "Mike, you're my favorite bear." Every single one of them should buy this for you, I think.
Yes, I mean, I already have one, but it's not enough. It's never enough, Jeff. I need more.
Exactly.
Tell them to get me some ball deodorant while they're at it. I'm addicted to that stuff now.
That stuff, yeah, it's real good. Yeah, so I mean, like, we've been using all their stuff. That stuff, we will talk more in depth about that because I do love that stuff. It's real good. Okay, let's get back to the show, Mike. A handful of more super chats, and then we'll get into it.
Sounds good, Jeff.
Okay, let's see here. Steve Sullivan, would you guys prefer a 2D or 3D Mario release this year?
Oh, 3D.
Yeah, I made my easy answer for you.
I made my list of 100 favorite games, and there's a lot of 3D Mario games on there. Like a lot of them, like the top 20, and the only 2D one is Super Mario World. Like I like 2D Mario. Fine, I even have this Mario 3 shirt on right now. I like 2D Mario games. I like 3D Mario a lot more. Like Mario Odyssey is my third favorite game of all time. 64 is in my top 10, and like the Galaxies and 3D World aren't that far behind. So yeah, if you announce a 3D Mario game, I'm going to freak out. If you announce a 2D Mario game, I'm going to be curious.
If the 2D Mario game is new art style that just blows me away and feels like a next gen sort of leap, I will be very happy. But I would prefer a 3D Mario release because I think that's more consistently impressive, especially after the years and years of new Super Mario Brothers. So we got to probably move on from that. Nintendogs, any chance of another Ace Attorney collection at the Nintendo Direct, either with games 4, 5, and 6, or maybe the Edgeworth games?
I think there's a pretty good chance of those two Edgeworth games getting a collection, especially since the second Edgeworth game never came out in the U.S. In the Great Ace Attorney collection of those two games, I think it did pretty well, actually. I remember Capcom at least saying in some financial report that it did well, or overexceeded expectations, or something like that. So it seems like a pretty easy recipe for success there. Just repeat that by releasing those Edgeworth games and can once again sort of pull the whole never released in America shtick again.
And then Jez, hi Jez, how you doing? Says, can you manifest Metroid Prime, please? Clearly I cannot. If I could do that, it would have happened, I promise you.
We clearly lack that ability pretty badly.
I manifest it frequently on my Steam Deck, almost constantly. Almost every week I'm playing it on there. But that's it. That's the limits of my power. Math of Penith wants to know, Mike. Mike knows this, I know, because, well, he knows when the last one was. He says, when is the next year of Luigi? I need to know. When was the last one? 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was exactly 10 years ago. It was 2013, so we're 10 years now.
It feels like the kind of thing that happens like every 13 years, right?
Yeah, maybe even like longer. Maybe every like 70. What's Haley's Comet? Like every 86
Yeah, like 78 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be something like that. So I don't think there's a lot of Luigi specific content coming out this year.
Yeah, I'm always rooting for another year of Luigi. We'll get to one. There was like someone else that like it was the year of Kirby clearly last year, but they're like that's just fine.
Yeah.
That could happen at any point because it's Kirby.
It's kind of continuing still.
Yeah, absolutely. That does it for the super chats, Mike.
Fantastic, Jeff. Do we want to get into these questions from the Discord community right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. I should open those up. Here we go. Oh, nope, that's the favorite box art. That's after this. Here we go. All right. From Jeremy Biff, who says, hello, Mike. Mike Tyson is a good family friend, Minotti, and Jeff. I witnessed Tim Allen do a drug deal, Grubb. If you can get Isekai, this thing. If you can get Isekai to another Nintendo world, what would it be? I would get Isekai to the Pokemon world for walkable and bike-friendly cities. I mean, I would probably... I mean, Pokemon certainly seems like the safest place you can go to. Nothing bad happens to people in Pokemon world. Like, kids are just, like, being sent out to travel the country when they're, like, 6. And so, like, go fight monsters. It'll be fine. So, if it's, you still have all the modern technology and everything, so you're not, like, you don't have to, like, be like, I want to live in Fire Emblem because the waifus are hot. And then you smell the waifus. It's not good because it's medieval times.
I just assumed they would smell like cartoons, and cartoons always smell fresh. So,
how many cartoons have you smelled? What are you talking about?
Well, they're just animated characters, right? I like that. Isn't that the appeal for those pervs? They're always talking about their waifus.
The appeal is that they aren't real, so they can't smell bad. But in this case, they become real. So now they're going to smell.
So Isekai would mean that I would get all 5 senses in that world and the ramifications therein. Okay, well in that case, yeah, they would smell horrible. They've never showered. I've never seen them shower except for in some very weird gifs on the internet. So.
Oh, they have that pool and Engage. Although disturbingly, every time I check it, it's only the children in there. So that's weird.
Yeah. Okay. So any Nintendo world, I get Isekai in. Isekai.
Just say Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's courted in.
Yeah. All right.
We'll make all the weaves mad.
Yeah. I don't. There it is. Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. Let's go. I want to see that sad dog in real life. I want to help him out. I want to go work in his baseball shop.
Like it. Chaos Buckaroo says, howdy, Mike, my dearest Jeffrey Minotti, and Jeff, my beloved Michael Grubb. The day I'm writing this, it is exactly 4 years since it was announced that Metroid Prime 4 was restarting development. That is longer than the U.S. was involved in World War II at just about the same length as the Civil War.
And a bigger quagmire than either.
Would you agree that waiting for Prime 4 has been the most challenging period in our nation's history?
I mean, it's up there. It's the it's the Watergate scandal and Metroid Prime 4.
Isn't it kind of quaint that people thought the Watergate scandal was this big deal now? Like,
yes,
think about that
absolutely.
Days. Like, if those same things happen to a politician today, it feels like everyone would just be like, well, whatever.
Yeah, everybody does it. All sides do it.
Yeah. So who even knows?
Yep.
Big Tony says, my dogs, I've been playing a ton of Fire Emblem Engage recently, and I got mad at the game the first time I found a cat and was unable to pet it. It's one of my pet peeves in gaming, and I want to ask, what are some of your gaming pet peeves? Thanks. Gosh, this is interesting. I can go with the flow on a lot of things, Jeff. I'm not too upset about cameras or weird controls a lot of the time. Not being able to skip cutscenes, especially if it's a cutscene I already saw and had to restart a save, that is always very annoying. There's a few things that do really get under my skin, but that will.
A game that takes away control from me, especially in the middle of fights, and then doesn't give me anything interesting to do, or doesn't do a good job hiding it. Forspoken's really bad about this, especially early on in that game. A lot of times where they're just taking control away from you, and then they're just going to have you stand still for a couple of seconds, and you think you're going to be able to move, and you can't, and it feels terrible. And then I was playing Hi-Fi Rush, and they took control away from me for a second, and they immediately had the character run off to the side, get in place, and it went into a cutscene, and it was like this nice flourish. And it's like, oh, they knew this would feel bad, so they made sure that they painted over it with something interesting happening. Like, this is a game that understands, so that's a terrible feeling. And I'm like, I can accept that, but otherwise, just please try, whenever you can, don't take control away from me.
God Rizla says, hey, Mike, I watched Clockwork Orange once, Minotti, and Jeff, you did what when you were watching that film Grubb? We're just talking about strokes. Just picked up Fire Emblem Engage this week, and I'm having a way, way, way better time than I did with Three Houses. The removal of the social stuff feels very nice. Being able to do battle after battle and the systems within it is fantastic. You know what's funny? There's all this talk about how there's not as much social stuff. I sometimes am still like, after every battle, I am going to back to Sam Neill, and I'm kind of like, man, there's too much stuff for me to do here. I actually just want to go to the next fight. So it is funny because this is a lot less than you had to do in Three Houses. I'm tired of doing the push-ups, basically.
Yeah, I put that game down when the Hi-Fi Rush came out. I'm gonna get right back to it for sure. But even when that stuff is there, I might not always do it. I might actually just skip some of it.
Juan Giff says, "Hey Mike, Cervantes like the pirate Minotti, and Jeff Cervantes like the writer Grubb. Just wondering if we're any closer to that Columbo podcast, and to make it Nintendo related, what would Kirby's power be if he swallowed Columbo?"
We're actually pretty close to that, especially at the rate that we're going. Let's see, we were at, like, when I said that, I think we were at like 150, 160, maybe 170 patrons. We're at like 227 now.
It's 300 is the goal, right?
Yes, but we are, like, in the last month, we've had about 40 people join. So
wow.
It's like, okay, if we stay anywhere close to that rate, by the end of the year, I expect maybe we'll be doing a Columbo podcast.
That would be fun. Kirby's Columbo power, would it be perception? That's not very exciting.
It would be just like talk about his wife and stuff, right? And
yeah, he mentions an off-screen wife constantly every time you push a button. There you go. That's pretty good. Gerber says,
I say we would do a PlayStation podcast at 500 patrons.
Man, I don't remember that. I remember you saying you'd take me to Tokyo Disneyland.
If we get 500 patrons, we'll go to Disney Sea. But I guess we'll also do a PlayStation podcast. All right.
I'm going to say Jeff will not be able to handle being able to do a PlayStation podcast. I don't even remember.
We'll run one, but I'll bring someone else in to do it at 500. There we go.
We'll see. Gerber says, following the release of GoldenEye and its unique default controls, what's your current feeling towards the Nintendo 64 Virtual Console? I feel it's somehow wrong that the A tier of Nintendo 64 gets basic ROM releases, while the B tier, like Turok, Banjo-Tooie, and Shadow Man, get great updates. Yeah, I was playing that Shadow Man re-release. It's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, it's weird because like the B tier is getting picked up by studios like Night Dive and whatnot that actually puts good work into them. And on Nintendo 64, it's just ROMs. Now, there are some games where that kind of just works fine because those games aged really well and were already just kind of perfect in some ways. Wave Race, still very, very good. Pokemon Puzzle League, actually still very, very good. But yeah, like trying to play GoldenEye just as a ROM with Nintendo Switch controls, it just doesn't feel great. Even Ocarina of Time kind of feels weird, like using that right analog stick instead of C buttons. It's not a giant deal, but I don't love it. So it's kind of messy, and it's annoying when GameCube's right there. And we know that stuff just works really well when all you do is have to turn it into ROMs, right?
Yeah, it's I get what they're saying. It can be a little bit frustrating, but it is we expect very little from Nintendo, and often they still disappoint us. But for the most part, I'm like, okay, at least they're doing something with the N64. Because they didn't have an N64 Virtual Console on previous systems, so it's like, okay, they're doing something here.
That's not true.
They did have stuff, but it was like the games were much more expensive per game. That was the difference, right?
They were, yeah. I mean, since Wii, they've had Virtual Consoles.
That's right. They did have that. That's right.
That's why it's even more messed up that we haven't moved past it.
What was the pricing structure? It was like $5 for NES on Wii, and then $7 or $8 for Super Nintendo. It might
have been like $2. It might be even cheaper. I think 10 for Nintendo 64.
Yeah, 10 for N64, right.
5 for SNES. And like
I never bought that many. NES. I probably bought like 1 or 2, and I never felt great about it. And I'm like, okay, so I think I do prefer the subscription model. So I've been kind of continuing to be like, okay, this is fine. But I also just don't expect Nintendo to do much more with those games ever.
Dr. Suss says, hello, my clean crotch comrades. That's pretty good. Is there any chance they make the new Switch compatible with the OG Switch's Pro controllers and even Joy-Cons? I have a bunch of controllers and don't want to lose them. Oh, I didn't even really think. I can't see why the Switch Pro needs to be updated in any significant way. Like, how is that going to really change?
Yeah, they should. I mean, if they needed a different Pro controller for a follow-up to the Switch, something's gone wrong.
Yeah, so hopefully. Gratuitous Asset, Sup Dogs, following up on the last Game Mess podcast. Sonic is awesome. Don't let the haters convince you otherwise, Mike. Easily deserving to be on the Mount Rushmore. Grunty has your back. Thank you, Gruntilda's ass. I appreciate it. What did ass stand for? What did we learn on the Bombcast? It was some other thing.
What's that?
Yeah.
What was the question?
asked what's an acronym on the Bombcast?
Yeah.
Something cute.
Automated survival shooter. Automated survival shooter.
Automated survival shooter. It's like that genre that includes that game you love, Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivors, right? Yes, an ass game.
Benji Glasskey says, "Hello, juicy grapes that burst in my mouth. Ew. We have an alarming amount of Donkey Kong 64 apologists. Will you set them straight?" Honestly, it's been so long since I played it. I kind of like with GoldenEye. I keep waiting for it to come to NSO so I can reevaluate it again.
It's trash. But, let me save you the time. It's trash.
I mean, look, it's way too big,
it's bad.
And the collectathon in it is ridiculous.
And it's not fun to play.
It's not fun to play it barely. I haven't played it in a long time, but I didn't even love it back then. I know that. Vision49 says, "Hey dogs, Jeff answered what was originally my question about the likelihood of Advance Wars coming out after putting out GoldenEye and Game this morning. So instead of that, what are some comfort games that you always keep downloaded and ready to go on their respective consoles?" I mean, I have access to those NES Mega Man games at pretty much all times, no matter what system I have. I've got it on Switch right now with the Anniversary Collection. Before I had it on my 3DS with just those individual downloadable virtual console versions. So yeah, I always have access to Mega Man.
I on Xbox, I've had Rare Replay installed pretty much nonstop since it came out on all my Xboxes. Whenever I get a PlayStation emulator, I always install Einhander, which is what you were playing that the other day.
That game is very good. That is a very
Einhander
good game.
rules.
Good.
And then I don't know, for Nintendo stuff, it's N64. It's that trio, the Excitebike, Wave Race, 1080, things like that. And then recently, for more modern stuff, it's Hitman 3, Hitman World of Assassination now.
Yeah, that's very good. I've been enjoying that new freelancer mode. Velocity Prime says, "Hello, Jeff, Cringe King Grubb, and Mike Metacritic King Minotti." I've been playing and greatly enjoying Hi-Fi Rush, but there's no way to ignore that this has plenty of the overly quippy dialogue that so many roasted Forspoken for having. Do you think Hi-Fi Rush's Shadow Drop allowed it more breathing room because it lacked any ads or promotion that exposed the stuff for years like Forspoken? Now, I think Hi-Fi Rush is just written better. Like that kind of dialogue, there is like an art to it, and I don't know. I'm not like a fiction writer. I can't necessarily explain why it could be better or worse or whatnot, but Hi-Fi Rush is actually funny. Now, look, I haven't played Forspoken. I, like a lot of people, have just been exposed to clips out of context. But I will say, even when people like share some clips, like, see, this isn't actually that bad, I am kind of like, that still seems pretty bad to me. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, the question is just like, oh, now that Hi-Fi Rush is out, like, is it comparable to Forspoken? Because it's just not. When I am
not that, it's just like, do you think Hi-Fi Rush is avoiding the same criticism because a shadow dropped, basically? And I'm saying no. I think it's just because it is actually done.
It's better. It's better. They strike a tone, and the tone is not at odds with the world. That's really what is the reaction is to Forspoken. Now that I've had more time to digest it, this woman is in this isekai, and she is and every moment she is the only person that can survive this death that is looming around everyone else and is causing people to dissolve and turn into pure evil. And she just has this, devil-may care attitude about all of it.
Her situation is not funny.
Yes, and so she doesn't care, and so it's like, why am I? This character seems like she sucks, actually. And then on top of that, she's making quips, and it's grating because people can feel that like this lack of taking her environment seriously. And it just doesn't fit. Meanwhile, Hi-Fi Rush is literally a cartoon. And every time the character says something, it's usually a joke on the character themselves, putting themselves in a situation where it's going to go wrong in a really comedic way. And they pull it off. The game knows what it is, and Forspoken doesn't.
It's such a big problem with games taking so long to make, Jeff. Like, Forspoken taking so long that when it started development, this kind of writing was in vogue and it was fine. And I'm thinking about Suicide Squad, right? You start that up, it's like, yeah, games as service. People want a game where they have to go through menus a bunch, you get all these upgrades because Destiny was a hit, and now it's coming out and just showing a screenshot of the start menu gets people, revolting against it. It's like this weird problem we're having where when you make your game now, you're trying to predict not what the trend is now, but what is the trend going to be 7, 8 years from now? I saw, James Gunn's talking about how the new DC connected universe thing, they're going to have the video games count too. I think Patrick Klepek tweeted, like, how are you going to do that? Because you're going to start a video game now and have that somehow tie into things when it comes out in 7 years. They're probably going to abandon that real quick.
Yeah, I think we said the exact same thing on a recent podcast too. And we were just like thinking it out loud, like, how does that work? It just doesn't. It doesn't.
I don't think he understands. I don't think James Gunn really understands how long it's going to take for those games to come out. And that's one of the benefits for Nintendo is that they really just don't have to worry about that because their stuff is of this sort of Disney-esque timeless thing. We're sure there are trends and whatnot, but Kirby and the Forgotten Land could have basically come out at any point in the last 10 years, right? There's nothing special about that except for the fact that it's good. So it's something that benefits them. Jedi Moss says typically the Pokemon Company has done directs in February as part of the yearly anniversary of Pokemon's release. What do you think gets announced this year, assuming do that again? I mean, if they do something in February, it would probably be just to announce or talk about the DLC for Scarlet and Violet. I don't think it's time to talk about whatever the next holiday release is.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Casual says, Dear Jeff, yeah, I eat a frozen grape, sure, Grubb, and Mike, Dino Domain, Minotti. What's up for all this grape talk? Did we talk about grapes are gross. Not as bad as apples, but pretty gross. Unless they get fermented and turn into delicious, delicious wine. That's okay. This question's for Jeff, but I love Mike's take on this too. Well, you're going to get it, buddy. Jeff, now that you're rocking a shorter haircut, has your stance on pillows changed, or are they still out? That's right, you're anti-pillow.
It's a good question. I think recently I've been using 2 pillows. I lay on my side and I use 2 pillows. So
you were using no pillows before, right?
Yes, a lot of times.
Wow,
yes.
Wow, big change.
So I mean, listen, things. This is my body is a wonderland. It's ever changing. Things are never the same one week to the next. Different new pains arise all the time. So right now, the best way to get comfortable and really get close to something that approximates being comfortable is 2 pillows.
Osp says, hey, the dogs. I never had a Nintendo 64, so I've been trying out NSO, struggling with the controls on GoldenEye, and came up with this. How much of an abomination am I? This is disgusting. He's holding the middle stick with his right hand and he's clawing the face buttons with his left. He can't actually be playing the game like this. He's trolling us. It's weird. Screaming Madden says, hello, Mike. Clockwork Orange is a weird porno Minotti, and Jeff dreams of Big Mac Dommy Mommy's Grubb. Since we have the Super Bowl matchup lined up with Nintendo characters, since we have the Super Bowl lined up, which Nintendo characters would be Chiefs fans and which would be Eagles fans? On a side note, Mike, did you know Bengals JBQ Bureau is a Nest main for Smash? I did not know that. I think that Waluigi would be a Chiefs fan and everybody else would be an Eagles fan.
I like that. I think that's totally fine. I'm trying to think. Maybe the football playing bad guy from Super Mario World. That's the only one that matters. Who would he be a fan of?
Yes,
Eagles.
Yeah. Does the Chiefs have to change their name soon too?
I mean,
who's left? Them and the Blackhawks.
Blackhawks.
The only major.
Right. I wonder if it's not the only ones. There's others. The Atlanta Braves.
The Braves. That's where the Braves haven't done it yet because like the Indians did. Like,
right. I mean, there is like. The Indians is like, well, first that's a misnomer, and so that's a problem. Braves is something
I guess Redskins was especially bad. Also,
right. So when you're referring to like, even if there's not a lot of documented history of Redskins being used as like a slur, it's still, even if that's true, we don't. I don't know for sure, but like people, it's like
hear it
exactly. It sounds so off, and it's like it'd be the same as like the Washington White Guys. Like that's a weird name too. Like don't do that. So the Braves, it's like, well, they refer themselves to the Braves. I don't know. They've gotten away with it. No one's, and like the Blackhawks is like you're referring to a specific tribe, and if you have a relationship with the Blackhawks, which the Chicago team does, it seems like so far they've been pretty okay with that. I don't know. Eventually they'll probably have to change.
I'm just glad we ripped that Band-Aid off finally.
Absolutely.
It was rough there having to deal with
Providence
a lot
White
of people
dudes.
in my life for a bit. Speaking about that, it was sad this week. John Adams, not the president, but he's this fan of the Cleveland baseball, who's been to like every home game since the 70s, and he would always come with this giant drum and he'd play it whenever there's like a man in scoring position. It was just awesome. He like had been to every game until last year. He got sick. It was starting to miss him, and he did pass away this week. So that was real sad. I'm gonna miss John Adams.
Yeah, that's a cool fan. One of my favorite things about sports is like the really intense fans. Actually, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefsaholic. Do you ever hear about this fan?
No.
It's a guy that would dress up as a wolf, go to every Chiefs game, always had really good seats, and guess why? Because he's been robbing banks. And he finally got caught this season. And so when he went missing, he wasn't at a game, and all the fans were like calling around, like, "Where is he? Is he okay? Is something wrong?" And it's like, no, something's very not right, actually.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
wow.
So I can't wait to see that movie.
Yes, right. Forget about the Brady ladies. I want to see a movie about this.
Well, listen, I'm gonna see 80 for Brady, of course, but
right, yeah. So Laser Wolf says, "Hello, Jeff, The Rock, Grubb, and Stone Cold Mike Minotti." Ooh, I'm glad I'm Stone Cold. I have never played Zelda, and I've always wanted to get into the series. I tried Breath of the Wild, and just couldn't get into it. What Zelda game do you recommend for newcomers? I've heard Wind Waker is a good place to start. Wind Waker is good. Maybe also just play Link to the Past, because you probably have NSO. There's a good chance you do. So you have easy access to that. That game is pretty timeless, and it's pretty classic Zelda. Like, basically, that set up what Zelda games are going to be for a very long time, and then all Great Time did was kind of put that in a 3D world in a really nice way. But all that stuff is pretty much in Link to the Past. It's a lot more digestible. It gets to things a lot faster than Wind Waker. I like Wind Waker. It's definitely slower than Link to the Past.
Yeah, I think if you have access to it, Link Between Worlds is really good too. And then
very good.
And then maybe if you want to play a game on your Switch that's like, newer but also still captures that old stuff, Link's Awakening it's a really brisk one, so you can get through it pretty quickly and kind of get some of the appeal.
Yeah, I think Link's Awakening and Link to the Past would be good. High Five Bop says, "Woof woof to my dogs. Who's the bigger loser, Tommy Tallarico or Billy Mitchell?" If you didn't see, new photo evidence came out proving Billy is a hack. What's it for all?
I didn't see that.
Was already proved. At least Billy Mitchell's like a cartoon character,
right?
It's like getting mad at Dick Dastardly or whatever.
Right. Yes, they're both. Races. Yes, absolutely. They're both from that same school of weird grifters like Trump or whatever, and that's real sad. But Tommy Tallarico's especially sad because it's like everything is a lot. You could buy Billy Mitchell's hot sauce. The hot sauce is real. I don't like Tommy Tallarico. I guess the music for Earthworm Jim is real, I suppose.
That did actually happen. He did actually make music for Earthworm Jim.
I don't remember that music.
Worked for him too.
What's that?
Maybe it was just somebody who worked for him that did that music also.
I don't think the music for Earthworm Jim is anything special, right? I mean, maybe people like it.
No. It's good music. You're right.
Okay, fair enough. I think Tommy Tallarico is sad, forever will be sad because of every time he's talked about Metroid Prime. And be like, me and Miyamoto, we worked hand in hand for years on that. And it's just like, man, Miyamoto did not work on that game that way.
That is the sad thing.
Yep.
It's like inserting himself with the Metroid Prime success.
Yep. And, I worked on Tony Hawk from the beginning. Oh, honey, right. Please stop.
And then he's on that video talking about how bad Smash Bros. Melee is.
Yeah, and I was on MTV Cribs twice. Oh, baby, come on.
He was not on it once. Yeah, It's rough. Watch the H-Bomber guy video if you haven't seen it yet. It looks like it's about the oof sound or whatever from Roblox, but it's actually about Tommy Tallarico. It is incredible. From Bayleaf Moon says, "Hello, Mike, Tara, Nigma, Minotti, and Jeff, Denise, Rumors, Grubb. This question is to hurt Mike. Oh no. So the GameCube has terrible disc art. The logo takes up 40% of an already small disc. But have you seen how good the Japanese GameCube discs are? This is just one example, but almost every GameCube disc has this amazing art and difference. Doesn't that just make you want to restart your collection? See, I don't know. I like that little black bar on the GameCube disc. It's probably just because I suck and I'm used to it. I have some Japanese GameCube games, though. I don't know where they are, but I had a Japanese GameCube, still do. I think I had Luigi's Mansion 1 and Super Monkey Ball 1, Mario Sunshine. I think I even had Soul Calibur 2 on Japanese GameCube. So yeah, I had some of that stuff.
I wish the GameCube or any one of these systems had CDs that had the cassettes. like an old Mac. You remember that? Like the cassette that would go around the CD, and then you would put the whole cassette into the system, and they would play. I wish we got a console like that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Next one here is from Clink. It says, "Hello there, Mike, a little corny Minotti, and Jeff, a little corny with a K. Grubb, do you think Wario will ever host a Nintendo Direct?" Man, that would be hilarious. That would be a very fun thing to do. Maybe if there ever was like an actual new biggish Wario game again, like not just like some kind of, not I would say half-hearted, but obviously the last WarioWare was not a giant deal. I liked it, but if they ever made a new Wario Land or God forbid a new Wario World, they should have him host it. That'd be really funny.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. In the long arc of time, it's going to bend towards justice, which means Wario hosting a Nintendo Direct.
I don't know if you've noticed. Maybe I'm just high on myself, but
the little button inside the GameCube that you press that pushes out the disc. I have noticed that. I have noticed it. Yeah.
I feel like I have single-handedly changed public perception on Wario World. I hear people talk about it.
I mean, it's been your life's mission, and I do think you've had some success. Yes, I do think you have.
So. Yes, thank you. Beef Hammer says, "Mike wants Peppermint from Hi-Fi Rush to love and support him, Minotti, and Jeff wants Rekka to step on him and call him pathetic Grubb."
Oh, yes.
Is there a prouder gaming dad moment right now than Shinji Mikami? Tango Gameworks got the breakout hit that he wanted when he built the studio. I used to think he would retire, and we have people like Mike say that Mikami peaked with Goof Troop. Oh, he made Goof Troop. I keep telling Jeff I want us to play that Goof Troop game for Super Nintendo.
Yeah, people keep asking when we're going to do another thing in person, so maybe we should make some plans to make that happen. That'd be fun.
I still haven't been to my house, and I still have this bag of hair of yours.
All right, yeah, that's why, and I mentioned that too. It's like I haven't been to your house, and we should make that happen. Yeah, so apparently, I guess I didn't realize this. The whole point of Tango Gameworks under Mikami, he must have said this from the beginning. I don't remember hearing this. But apparently everyone keeps referencing it. He wanted to be like raising the next generation of creators. Like that's the whole point. He wanted to be highlighting people to come in and make new games that they wanted to make out of nowhere, which is why he was up there saying, I never would have thought of this. That was the whole point of Tango Gameworks. And so, well, that's awesome. That's really cool that it actually worked out that way.
I want that to be the identity more, and that they can do anything than just we're a studio that makes scary games. I think that's so much more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, just asked Jeeves in chat, did Mikami even direct Hi-Fi Rush? No. John Johannes.
Yep. Here's the bag of your hair, by the way, just to prove it's still here.
Yep.
Mr. Bohr says, "Hey, Nintendogs, with the reporting that Nintendo will be skipping E3 this year, do you think we shouldn't expect a Nintendo Direct during the summer Game Mess as well?" It's hard to say. They didn't do anything last summer, really, right?
Right. They did not have a Nintendo Direct in June.
But I don't know. It seemed like we kind of knew what was happening that holiday, and it was a slower one anyways. It's just so much of it is what is going to happen with them this holiday. We have really no idea. Like maybe Pikmin is holiday, maybe that's summer. We don't know. What is the next Pokemon thing? We're not even really sure what that is. There's a lot of question marks, and it right now seems like a lot of people weren't expecting them to announce a Switch this year. I don't think anybody is thinking that some kind of new hardware is coming out this year. No way.
No, yeah, not now. I mean that Zelda Switch OLED, that'll be coming. Yeah.
Bench JC says, "Hey, dog, sure E3 hasn't really been a thing the last few years, but this seems like the nail in the coffin of the traditional 1 week in June that games news drops. I find that it sucks overall because I always looked forward to that 1 week. My question is, that do y'all feel the same? I'm always skeptical of E3 or whatever you want to call it actually being dead. Who knows? Like maybe all those big three still just have press conferences that happen that week, and it's not like E3 branded for whatever reason. We're not sure yet. It's going to take a few more months to really see how this is all shaking out."
Yeah, I mean, Xbox will still have something that week. Nintendo's unknown. Sony's very likely no. That, like, all the news... okay. Yes, I feel the same way. The answer to that question is I absolutely feel I'm sad. I do think that is over. But it's been over for a while in terms of we would go to E3, Mike, and we would wake up and we would go to the first press conference. It was usually Xbox first thing in the morning, and everyone would go there, and then we would like write stories, laptops on our laps, or maybe we'd get lucky and find a little table inside the stadium, and something big would happen. It'd be so crazy, and then like we're immediately rushing off to Ubisoft, and then going to at the Orpheum Theater or whatever it was called.
Boots on the ground,
and then we'd go to maybe EA would be like right in there, and then at the end of the night we all get back together and we go to Sony's big thing at the Shrine, and there would be food trucks waiting for us because it's going to be a long wait before they actually open stuff up. And then we talk to our friend and we get in early, and we get an awesome little desk that has power stuff and has its own Wi-Fi, and we're just pumping out stories. And that was awesome. That was awesome. It was so much fun to just hit one big event after the other. And you know that conversations are just going crazy online, and the message boards are as busy as they've ever been in their histories. And it does feel special, and it doesn't feel like that's ever going to happen again. I still think E3 has its place. I think that the industry benefits from all coming together in one place at one time, and I think they will try to approximate that as best they can here and there. But it's never going to be the same again. So if people want to be like, oh, that stuff's over, absolutely. I agree with Mike though. E3 itself is going to find a way to sort of scrape along, because the name is just too big, and Jeff Keighley could maybe steal that away over time. That does feel like it's happening, but still, for now, E3 has its place.
What was the most fun we had at E3? Was it that ridiculous Sony thing where we went to like several different themed theaters? It's like they showed Last of Us Part 2 and then Ghost of Tsushima.
I think the most fun I had was the first time I went, because it was the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 year, and it was incredible to have Xbox announce all their stuff that morning, write up all those stories, and then get to PlayStation that night, and they're like $400, and we're going to charge you for online, and people are cheering for that, because it's just like they're everything else they're hearing is what they want to hear, so they just assume they wanted to hear that too. It's like, man, this is actually nuts that it's like all that was the generation written right there in that moment. To be there for that was really cool. But I really did also enjoy that themed Sony thing, where it's like they didn't have a ton of games, but the games they had little rooms for, and then you go outside, it was all Spider-Man everywhere, Daily Bugle stuff. So
that little Death Stranding statue. We got to have Neil Druckmann talk to me, and he wasn't very happy about it. It was great.
Yeah, that's right. Jeff Beckler hated that conference so much he never went to E3 again. And I'm like,
a lot of people said that, Jeff, and me and you just had a great time.
It's like, guys, they're just trying to entertain us a little bit. It's not that big a deal.
I know they had a guy with like almost like my low D whistle, like one of those, and he was like performing something like. It was great, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just the theme park lover in me, but I was all about it.
Yeah.
Like, we also had fun at that ridiculous Star Wars Battlefront 1 thing where they made it look like Hoth, and it was like, I was like, this is good. I like this bullshit. Maybe we just need more video game theme parks, and that'll fill the gap.
That's right. That's exactly what we need.
All right. Next one here is from Lenny Cool Dick Denver, who says, hey, excuse me. So if he is participating in it, what is Mike playing for Blight Club? My vote is the story mode in that TNA wrestling game on Wii. What?
Oh, that's a thing? That's a good one.
Wow. That's
how long is that, though? I guess actually it might be good if it's like just a couple hours. You can just get through it and be really miserable. Let me see. I have my Blight Club notes somewhere. We have Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, Blues Brothers 2000.
I can't say which ones I actually kind of want to play, because then you definitely won't let me play them.
Superman 64, Flintstones Bowling, Balan Wonderworld. Flintstones Bowling was kind of like a punishment game. Balan Wonderworld Quest to 64. All right, let me ask. What was it? It was TNA Wrestling.
TNA. I remember that game. I remember it on 360. I didn't even know it came out.
Story mode.
That's messed up.
Okay. Does it have Waggle? That'd be a lot of fun.
Is Scott Steiner in it at least? That would be something.
Yeah, that would be something.
I kind of want to play that anyways now, just to see what the heck's up with that. That's incredible. I sure hope that the AEW game is actually good and not just the next that.
Yep, I hope so too.
What game do you want me to play for Blight Club? Do you know? You still thinking about it?
Yeah, I don't know yet. We got some time.
Yeah, that's good. Is that happening again this Thursday?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Did you want me to pop in?
Yeah, if you got time, if you can. We have you'll be kind of busy because you're going to be doing the Power Bomb cast too, so it's going to be pretty. So don't feel like you have to.
We'll see. Lenny Cool Dick here said 6P Minhell says, howdy dogs. I recently visited the Galloping Ghost arcade. I was blown away with how cool the F-Zero AX machine was. Do you think we'll ever get another Nintendo licensed arcade machine? Bonus question, what Nintendo franchise would you like to see an arcade version of if we got one? Like, a lot of people don't know this, but they made a Luigi's Mansion arcade like game maybe like 6-7 years ago or something, and it is like a light gun game kind of thing. So like, it happened. Like, I don't know, it was kind of fun. But, arcades just don't matter as much anymore. So there might be some random BS like that shows up. But
It'll be
who
random
will
stuff
really
like
care?
that. They have that Luigi's Mansion at Sean's Dave and Buster's. So I should check ours and check mine down the
Yeah, we
street.
still need to go to that.
Yeah. I think they will. I mean, cruising still happens. That's technically a Nintendo IP that gets licensed for arcade. So yeah, they'll definitely do some more stuff like that.
Technically Nintendo IP?
Yeah, cruising. Nintendo owns cruising. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So why isn't a cruising car been in Smash Brothers like that Daytona car and Fighter vs Mega Mix? Which,
I can only say as a failure of Sakurai. That's the only reason that hasn't happened.
Yeah,
you know what? Can I tell you something about Smash Brothers? I think it was pretty cool.
Oh my god! Of course, you'd be one of those people who hate something like, "Well, now my kids like it."
I never hated it.
Eyes.
But yes, because it's like when I see it as like a fun party game for kids, it's like, oh yeah, this is like endless content. This is awesome.
Oh, I gotta show your kids how to play it properly. I gotta show them how to turn the items off. Then they'll have more fun.
Yeah, I bet they will. Yeah.
Octo says, "Hey Jeff, take me to Commie Heaven, Grubb, and Mike. My wettest fantasy is Dan Reichert stuck playing the Treasure Planet tie-in game Minotti. That game is good. It's basically just a Jack and Daxter knockoff."
Okay, are you thinking of the right one? The PS2
one? Yeah, the
one?
Treasure Planet game.
There's more than just one, though.
There's a PlayStation 1 also, right?
Okay, but there's the PC one, which I know your brother owns because I was on Steam and I saw that. So I'm wondering if that's the one you're thinking of because people really like that PC one.
Well, there's a PC Atlantis game that people really liked, which was a first-person shooter. In fact, a demo for it came with some cereal. Are you getting Atlantis and Treasure Planet mixed up again?
No, because the Treasure Planet was the one that was on there, right?
Yeah, you guys were playing Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
It's all right. Dan even said it wasn't bad. He even said he was kind of liking it.
Okay, I believe it. I guess I was just looking at the reviews, and the reviews were pretty bad. But who knows? They could have been wrong.
Well, everybody was like, "Oh, licensed game, it's bad" at that time, right?
Right. And this is different though, because Disney's Treasure Planet Battle of Procyon.
There were a bunch of them.
Okay, so yeah, this is a different game. All right.
I think people like that one. But anyways, who should take the 3 E's place at E3? They have to be thematically linked, so I'll take the simple E common root and say Electronic Arts, the Ida side of Embracer, and just Enix. I get that. That's cute. Well, I'll just agree with you, Otto.
Yeah, me too, because I don't understand.
The Jan in the Hat says, "Good evening, Nintendogs. What's your favorite thing you own from the Club Nintendo days? For me, it's this Yoshi shirt. They sent me the wrong size at first, but the other size fit my brother, so it worked out well. I don't know if I ever got anything from Club Nintendo.
I got a Kirby pin from their modern Club Nintendo stuff, and we just found that, which is exciting because my kid's into Kirby now, so she had to see that. But I don't know. I got some stuff. I don't remember much of it though.
Yeah, Charter Wolf says, "Hey Jeff, I will buy Metacritic. Damn it, Grubb and Mike. You think I got Metacritic money, Minotti?
Shit,
with the
that's
Shadow
right.
Drop of Hi-Fi Rush.
I work for the company that owns Metacritic. I could just change the scores.
Yeah, just buy Metacritic. There you go.
We already own it. I already work for the company that owns it, so I'm good.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah, I'll get in there and change it. All right, cool.
There you go.
Done deal.
Tetris 99 Shadow dropped in the February 2019 Direct, for example. Are there any Nintendo games that would lend themselves to being Shadow dropped? Usually smaller stuff like that, or I forget if Kirby Dream Buffet was Shadow drop, but it was at least released
close to it, yeah.
soon after being announced. Tetris 99 does stand out as being a pretty good one. I remember like Hollow Knight just like coming to Switch as a Shadow drop was actually really cool for whatever reason. That one was really neat.
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite.
There's been some really good ones, and I struggle to remember any of them right now. Tetris 99 is a good one though. Tetris 99 is a game I'm going to go back to now that I remember that it exists.
JD Camp says, "Hello, doggies. I was at a bookstore and came across an official Halo cookbook. I also just sold that. I was looking for gifts. I was in the cookbook section. I was like, I don't think my stepmom would like this. There are a few other official gaming cookbooks, like for God of War, Final Fantasy 14. What Nintendo game would you like to see an official cookbook for? I mean, Kirby, I guess makes sense. I associate Kirby with food so much.
Was there not one for Breath of the Wild? I feel like there was one, right?
Oh, I'm sure there was. I feel like there was. There's been a Zelda cookbook, anyways.
Yeah, I would do that. I would honestly just buy that right now.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think I got sent a World of Warcraft cookbook at some time. That one's relatively popular. Yeah. Next one here is from G-Man Sir, who says, "Hey Jeff, I love watching Greg Miller getting cream pied Grubb, and Mike, I love watching MILF Manor Miss Naughty. Pretend that I am Nintendo. Convince me to let you two out of Nintendo jail. I'll say this, Jeff. I don't know if I need to convince. I can't say I've been invited to something. I might be out. Yeah, how's it feel? I'm leaving you behind, scrub. Just scrub.
What's happening here?
You can rot in Nintendo jail by yourself. I might be out. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see if I actually get a code.
Yeah, let's see. I want to wait and see if you get a review code early before. Okay, or no, go ahead, do this little dance, and then when you don't get one, I'll be very happy.
I think I'm just saying. I mean, it has almost been like what 2-3 years now. Maybe they're finally moving on.
I mean,
from the goddamn cat shines.
I can tell you the amount of time does not come close to the amount of time that Giant Bomb has been in Nintendo jail, and for a reason that's also pretty silly. So yeah,
I'm not associated with him, Nintendo and/or Greg Miller.
Okay, well maybe you can get us codes for Nintendogs now. So we'll see. All right,
we'll see. That's what I was like. If there's another thing coming up, I'm like, and I didn't know if I could go for GameSpeed. I was like, can I just go for like Game Mess podcast?
Yeah, Last of the Nintendogs. Yeah, absolutely.
Drewman says, "Hey, doggos. Recently, I was at a badass retro game store, which has an entire section of sealed retro games. The prices were bonkers, as you can imagine. I wanted to ask if either of you dirty dogs bought a physical game as an investment. I have." I never bought a physical game that I didn't think I was going to play at some point. There's one exception, because like I have a really crappy copy of Mega Man 3 for the NES. Like it looked like the sticker's almost off. And that's my favorite game ever. So at one point I came across a nice version of it, and I did buy that. I'm like, okay, this one I'm just going to keep pristine because this is my favorite game. But even then, I'm not like, it's not an investment. I don't plan to ever sell that.
Yeah, I was young and thought I could get into investing in baseball cards as a kid, and I learned my lesson pretty early on that stuff. It's not, you don't do it. Just don't unless it's your full-time job. What was that?
Yeah, I had a lot of Beanie Babies as a kid, and I don't think I actually believed it, but I think I told my parents like, well, it's an investment, so they would keep buying them for me. Let's see here now. Cervantes says, "Woof woof to my dogs. Mike, give me your best how."
Pretty good.
It worked. It was good.
Good job, Penny.
Thank you. Saw some rumors last week that a Mario. Yeah, all right, that's enough. Saw some rumors last week that a Mario baseball game is in development. Do either of you think there's any validity to this? Am I going to be punching baseballs with DK this summer? Is the only sports game missing from the Mario series on Switch? I mean, they finally brought back
Strikers.
The soccer, Strikers. It would be cool. I hope that like the tepid reception to Strikers maybe doesn't dissuade them from it, because I would really like to get a new Sluggers.
Yeah, I think they probably are going to do this. This is a Zippo rumor. Zippo sometimes gets things right, sometimes the things are off.
Don't. Isn't that true for all of us?
Yes, it's true for all of us, exactly. So I don't know. I think this makes sense. Another Mario sports game. Okay, big surprise.
One of us, the CPU says, "Do you think there will be a bad batch game? It seems like the best suited to be made into a game out of all the recent Star Wars stuff to me, but it doesn't seem to be very popular." I don't have my pulse on the Star Wars stuff very well right now, Mr. Ryan Johnson hoodie, Grubb, or sweater. Why don't you tell me? You think there's going to be a bad batch game? Is it popular? Is it not popular?
I honestly don't know about its popularity. It's the new animated show, newish animated show about the leftovers of the clones, the ones that were supposed to be like they're a bad batch, literally. And so, but it's got 2 seasons. I do think it would make a lot of sense. They could do like a fun take. It could almost be like something that like stands alongside Republic Commandos, where like each one of those was supposed to have a different speciality.
Yeah.
They could do that with this cast pretty easily too, and it could be like even more fun, weird stuff that they're good at.
People were talking about like what some random gaming knowledge thing. I remember Republic Commandos. They like set it up like this is the guy who's the best at hacking, and this one's the best at shooting, and that's actually just all BS. They all have the same exact AI.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who you tell to do what. That's kind of beautiful. I love that.
Yep.
It's funny because like Clone Wars had like a zillion shows, but that was just back in that day where if you were a cartoon show and you ran for like
you got a game
seasons. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Cosmic Shook says, hello, Jeff Color Splash Grubb and Mike Ziplash Naughty. Upon your getting sponsored by Manscaped, in which you are paid to talk at length and in great detail about your genitals, I am reminded of the adage, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. If you had to choose a challenge against your co-host in which the loser had to groom Donkey Kong's conky dong, what would you feel confident you could beat your co-host in 100 times out of 100? I think I could beat Jeff 100 times out of 100 in Smash Bros. Ultimate if there are no items on and we're not playing on any stupid stages that add elements of luck to it. Otherwise, I could beat him every single time.
Wow. I would probably. I don't know. Mike's really good at video games, so probably.
Well, it doesn't have to be video games. How are you fast? Maybe you could beat me in a race.
Okay, yeah, basketball. There we go. Just or speed skating. Yes, there we go.
Speed skating, something like that.
Yeah.
Turbo Sean says just popping in to remind Mike that he can't talk shit on items in Smash until his bitch ass can actually beat me in competitive ultimate. We need to do that again because I had lag last time. It wasn't fair. So yeah, I'll beat you for sure. Here in time. I got this shirt. God, what was it called? Something. Oh gosh, this is the logo for it. I don't know if that helps. But I got Jeff a good shirt here too. I'll have to look it up for you sometime. Jeff, that's it for the questions. We have some super chats. We have our Game Boy Advance best covers. Why don't we take a quick break and we'll jump into all that.
Sounds good.
Bumping this thing.
All right, we're on break.
All right,
we have an update on the Fantasy Critic. Should we do that on the Decides or this show?
Let's do it on Decides.
Okay.
I'm not
yeah, that's fine.
We're already going longer here. All right, okay, we'll go outside. Let's see who was doing all that howling out there, huh?
I'm good. I hope you all are good.
What's popping? What's popping, chat?
Not much.
It's never gonna.
What season is it?
Beat me in Smash.
Yeah. You could beat him 100 out of 100 times.
That ass.
He took a round off me. He took a round off me.
Right.
But outside of that, his ass is toast next time we play.
I'm commenting so many files that says unshaven balls. I need to delete some of this.
Dirty, unshaven balls. Beautiful. It's art.
Pushing so much material off these ad reads.
Yeah, I bet. We'll definitely be doing even more ball talk on Thursday when we talk about the performance package and all of this stuff about those lotions, which are very good. They're very good lotions. I love to lotion my balls. It's a good time.
Why is that so funny?
Well, balls are funny.
Brain stuck in 10 years old. That's we never grew up out of balls jokes.
Oh man, what would it be?
Balls and farts.
Oh wow, Beef Hammer getting spanked.
Eternal
He knows what he did.
Yeah.
Comedy. It never gets old.
That's right.
Yeah, I saw on my Twitter timeline the clip of you laughing your ass off at Greg Miller got cream pie. That was a good moment.
Yep. You just could not have caught me more off guard with that. I just was not ready for that at all.
That got me. Oh man.
I almost died. It was just okay.
Man.
And that's what we're saying.
It's second only to Chris Pratt's Mario for times.
Yes, exactly.
Soul almost left his body there.
It was a real moment. Oh, man. My God, everyone chat's getting spanked right now.
What's going on? I looked away for a second and somebody got shot.
Yeah. Everyone is.
What's going on? Lots of deleted messages. People getting timed out in chat.
The mods are just power tripping.
This is like when you cross up with the Twitter thread where like half of the comments are deleted, half of the Twitter. This has been a great battle. Yes, a great battle happening here.
Yes, yeah, not Legos. What's his name?
Look at all the bodies.
Yeah, there was a great battle here. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff, you shouldn't have removed your headset. You were laughing your ass off. I know. I didn't know what to do. I just needed a moment to myself because I just couldn't handle what I was hearing. I came up
critical damage.
Critical damage to my soul. I came back up and I did mute myself and continue laughing for a while too. So, yeah, okay,
incredible.
That's pretty good.
Dirty, unshaven balls.
Let's go.
I did forget to go to the music for our ad read this week, so I'll have to remember to do that next time. So I have it ready. I got it there. Yeah.
You're so excited.
Okay. All right, Mike. You can bring it back.
Are you ready to like show the box arts and all that stuff?
Pretty ready.
Your scene.
Bonesaw is pretty ready. Yeah. Hang on. Let me see here.
Ready.
Is live window. Let me just get to that other one.
Why do I have it's cold outside? Oh, because I was just outside and it was cold. Like, why do I have baby it's cold outside stuck in my head? I figured it out.
Wow, you cracked the case.
The genius.
Okay, I'm ready.
And we are back. Jeff, we're talking about Game Boy Advance box art. I know that's one of your favorite systems ever. Is there a cover from the Game Boy Advance that you like the most?
Yeah, I like the Astro Boy cover a whole bunch.
Oh, from Treasure, right?
From Treasure, yes. I mean, a big fan of Treasure. I haven't played all their games, but the ones I have played that I like, I really, really like. Obviously, it's like kind of just going for the anime a little bit, but still, it feels very evocative of what happens inside the game as well. Let me see if I can bring it up. But in the meantime, yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I want to play that again. Mine is, it's actually nice because Benji Glasky is the first one that responded to the thread, and mine is also the Japanese box art for Mega Man Zero. Honestly, the European, which he has here too, and even the US versions are also good. The Japanese version, that looks awesome. All of the Mega Man Zero games actually had pretty nice box art. I think they do a good job of having it kind of like, it's made anime, but it has a bit of an edge to it. Like, this looks better than, like, certainly any of the Mega Man X box art from X4 onwards, where there wasn't a whole lot of personality to this. This one has a lot of personality. I love the way that this looks. We'll look at that after you've got your one up.
Yeah, you can kind of see Astro Boy there. I'll pop it at the
It's simple
bottom.
but effective.
Yep. All right, let's see here. So there is, God, man, Mega Man art got real good, real cool.
Yeah, the Japanese box art for Game Boy Advance is interesting because it's kind of like it kind of looks like the Super Nintendo box art.
Yeah, in terms of like the ratio, wide.
Yeah. Sean is saying the European version is an atrocity. What? I think that looks good. That's the European version. I think that looks pretty good too.
I'm fine with it.
Atrocity. No, that looks pretty good to me still.
Yep.
Yeah, but Benji Glasky agrees with me on. Oh, but yeah. So okay, even he says the European version butchered it. That's why he has it there. Okay, huh? I don't know. I still thought that one looked pretty good myself. I think the Japanese one is better.
I mean, if you're comparing it to the Japanese version, where it's like it does just look like a hot ass anime, and you're one of these hot ass anime weirdos, I get it. But I mean, to me, like, yeah, I saw that on a shelf and be like, that looks cool.
Yeah. Comic Shook said Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland is perhaps the best example of the difference in Japan versus U.S. Kirby box art. Japanese Kirby is going on a fun, magical adventure, while U.S. Kirby has this Rambo headband and is ready to kick some serious ass as Meta Knight watches menacingly from the shadows. I do love that he is literally in Rambo mode. That's fantastic.
Yeah, Kirby always looks mad in box art, right? That's the thing. On American box art, he always looks angry.
It's great. They literally just like add the angry eyes to it, and I kind of respect it.
Me too.
I don't dislike it. It's funny, but
we are very bitter people, and we need our cute characters to reflect that.
Screaming Madden says, "Wah, I got some Wario answers for your beef and garlic boys. Wario Land 3 for Game Boy Color." By the way, some people are going to include Game Boy Color because there's some miscommunication about last week's thing.
We lied.
Now, I was misunderstood when I was very clear. So there'll be some Game Boy Color soon in here. But he says Game Boy Color's Wario Land 3 as Wario is posing in front of a claymated version of the music box overworld that's in the game. I didn't even notice that. I just played through Wario Land 3 not too long ago. That game's very good. And then he says Wario Land 4 for Game Boy Advance as you see Wario eagerly adventuring a lush jungle with a stoned Key-Boo behind him. He is stoned. Look at that little Key-Boo looking all weird.
Yeah, look at that
guy. Velocity Prime says the Eternally Cursed Advance Wars series has great piece of art for its first game. Just look at those guys trucking along their tank, looking stoked to murder and commit atrocities. Oh, you mean atrocities like the European version of the Mega Man Zero? Occupying a town with tanks. This actually is fantastic. This is definitely one of the best. It's way better than Advance Wars 2's, which takes itself too seriously. Good stuff. High Five Bop says, not gonna lie, There's not a lot of good Game Boy Advance box art compared to the other challenges we've done. Mystery Dungeon, however, is still excellent. It's a completely different tone that skews a bit darker and adds some complexity to otherwise formulaic mainline games. Yeah, I do remember thinking that the box art for these was surprisingly neat.
Yeah, it's cute, and there's like a lot going on, and the characters all are looking at something. It's kind of got the Spielberg face. I'm like, what are they looking at? I need to know what's going on.
Oh my god. Mr. Bowler says, once you see Carnage Rally, you cannot see Carnage Rally. What the absolute hell is going
Carnage
on?
Rally, yep.
Carnage, I get it. Wow.
I love this thing.
Is that an actual human's face, or is that a render?
No, that's a human's face in Photoshop. Yeah, definitely. I think about Carnage Rally all the time, and I'm surprised everyone does not. This is like, oh yeah, I've just been listening to Sum 41. Now let's go make a video game for Jalico.
Somebody found like the wind blur filter in Photoshop too on that car. That's incredible. Yep. Oh my god. Wazbat says the art for the North American version of Golden Sun 2 is aggressively generic JRPG, but the art on the Japanese version is quite striking. Oh wow, yeah, look at the difference here. That I mean, again, it's not terrible. The US one, it's fine, it's generic. That like almost reminds me of the Final Fantasy VI Japanese box art. This Golden Sun box rules.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, hey, there's like people on the American one, and like there's faces, and it's like very attractive. But if I saw that Japanese box art sitting on the shelf, I would have to know what that game is.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy Biff says Pokemon Pinball, Ruby and Sapphire. People always ask why aren't they making more of these, and I never have a good answer for them. Like, you talk about bringing back Pokemon. One Up versus CPU says Japanese Zelda boxes stay winning. I love Japan's Minish Cap box. That's the organization of the game. It's a shame how it got Kirby'd. Man, yeah, that is great. That I remember that key art. I never realized it was just box art because that does look good. I don't hate the US and European versions. It's a little simple, but that's very striking, that Japanese version. Laser Wolf says, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, first game I had on Game Boy Advance. I remember thinking it was so cool I could play this game on the go, as it was one of my favorite Nintendo 64 games. Gosh, that game it had no business being that good on Game Boy Advance, Jeff.
I played a lot of it on Game Boy Advance.
It's great. It makes no sense, but somehow it's great. Matt Rare Monkey says, okay, for the Game Boy Advance, since it hasn't been posted yet, I'm going to go Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. The US box art actually isn't that different this time. It also uses this art, I think, and looks great. It might be slightly different art, but it has this style to it, and it looks really good. The Castlevania box art across the board still looked very good on Game Boy Advance. It was with the DS that they started using the generic anime characters, and it was a bummer. He says, I was really looking forward to posting my Game Boy Color cover, since we are allowed to do that this week. Here is Ferret Monogatari. What? And you say that this isn't a separate platform. You want to erase Ferret Monogatari from history.
I know, but what if this is like a black cartridge that also works on the regular Game Boy?
Yeah, no way. Look at it. It has the word color with some kind of starburst on the bottom left. Special. Big Tony says, so many great games on GBA, but after watching Grubb's journey to beat Mike Tyson Punch-Out, it reminded me of this gen. Instead of a drunk Russian, you box a pimp. This is Wade Hickston's Counterpunch.
I haven't thought about this game in forever.
I've never thought about this game. I don't think I know about this. Is it just a Punch-Out clone?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I never played it much. I've heard people talk about it, and like Wade Hickston's Counterpunch, and it was like a meme and like a very community. I don't even remember where it was. Maybe it was like Retronauts talked about it. I'm not sure, but
it is just a pimp there.
Yep, yes it is.
There's that gorilla from Who Framed Roger Rabbit who like guarded the door to the club where Jessica Rabbit sings. Okay. Chrono bounces for Game Boy Advance. The WarioWare box immediately comes to mind. Don't forget the circle featured the fun early 2000s holographic effect. Oh yeah, it was holographic. Everything's better when it's holographic, Jeff.
Oh yeah, of course. Also,
I do like how the. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say also Twisted. Yes, I like this box art a lot. But all the WarioWare stuff, such good use of like primary colors. I'm like, yeah. I bet there's some fun stuff in that manual and then that video game.
I like how like the box is literally showing you what to do with the cartridge because it's like a little weird and different. Jeremy G says, well, not released in the US, Fire Emblem 6, The Binding Blade is absolute banger of a box art. Yeah, this looks great. This is the one with Roy. So the reason why Roy was in Smash Bros. Along with Marth was because this was the newest one, or the one that was about to come out at that point. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, I love that.
We just weren't getting this series yet. Like there were 3 Game Boy Advance Fire Emblems. This is Binding Blade. Then Blazing Blade is the one that we have that's just called Fire Emblem. And then there's the Sacred Stones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully this game gets translated or even re-released. I've heard some people complain that Roy, is really weak the entire time in this game, and it kind of makes it annoying because he has to be in your party. You're basically babysitting him, so maybe it's one
play ROM hack.
Benefit from a remake. Yeah, ROM hack.
Real quick, go back. You're right that this image of Wario holding the GBA looks like it's out of like a plain safety manual, and they're just like, "This is how you hold it." Like you're right, it's like just a diagram, and they just put it on the cover. I love it.
It's great. Razzle Jazzle says, my favorite is easily Metroid Fusion. These are both pretty good. Which one do you like better? There's more going on in the Japanese one, but that pose in the US one is kind of great.
Yeah, it's iconic. I mean, it is her iconic pose. It looks really good. I don't know. I think that maybe the colors look a little bit better on the suit in the Japanese version, and that might be enough for me.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, the colors look off, and maybe it's just this JPEG. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
true.
It's like the blue is too royal blue and not
not turquoise.
Turquoise, cyan. I kind of want to play Fusion again. It's been a little bit.
I don't know my color, so if turquoise is wrong, everybody don't correct me.
Tink says Superstar Saga, and that is just very fun cover art.
It rules. It's got shows how cool Mario and Luigi look in the game, and it's got Fawful back there.
There's Prince Peasley.
Yeah, Prince Peasley. Just great characters all around. Yeah, this is awesome.
Good stuff.
Man, I'm going to play that game again.
Chaos Buckaroo says, for GBA, it is Fire Emblem. So this is that Blazing Blade I was talking about. This Fireblade 7, if you would. I could eat that art and Mommy Lynn up. Yeah, Mommy Lynn is showing off those thighs. I haven't gotten Lynn yet in Engage, and I'm going to be excited when I do. Lynn is a good character for reasons. For Game Boy Color, it is Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. The color. Yeah, that actually is pretty good. Is Lynn the one who really started the Fire Emblem waifu thing? Maybe in Japan it went way earlier than that, but I guess for us, Lynn is the OG Fire Emblem waifu, right? Jeff, just answer the question.
Yes, I'm just gonna say yes. What she got, like she got titty or something?
Oh, look, it's right there. She got leg. Also yes, but I mean, I'm at the leg.
The high slit. Okay, all right.
I don't use that word. Super Hardman says, as someone who followed Mike's rules, I'll just do a Game Boy Color game. What? No. I don't have a lot of Game Boy Advance nostalgia anyways, but I do remember my brother, who was a big Metal Gear fan, excitedly coming home with Metal Gear Solid. The cover is the classic style for the series, but he also had this not overly attractive Game Boy Color, which was released to celebrate the Australian swimming team going into the Sydney Olympics in 2000. Australian swimmer Michael Klim, pictured on the Game Boy Color screen, was a Nintendo brand ambassador. That's cool.
That is cool.
That is an awesome Game Boy Color.
Neotones. That looks very neat.
Yeah, and Jeff doesn't consider it its own platform, and it has its own limited edition green and gold neon tones version. You're just a sicko. Dank Park says, this must be the Kojima block down here because I really love Baktai's anime-inspired box art. At the time, I was very into anime, so the aesthetics sold me. Another great, weird concept by Kojima. Yeah, Baktai was a really cool game.
Yeah, and it does look like not just an anime, but like a Saturday morning anime cartoon that might come to the United States.
Breadfish says, think fast. Wham! It's Super Dodgeball Advanced. Man, that kid just got blasted. I thought that was blood for a second. I think it's just his tongue.
But he definitely probably does have brain damage.
Yeah, good. Drewman also says Metroid Zero. Well, he says Metroid Zero Mission, which is similar but different to Fusion. He said Nintendo really hit their stride with the Game Boy Advance. So many great box arts. I really feel Metroid Zero Mission was the best. The introduction to our favorite thick shoulder mommy Dom Samus, Dominator Sammy. Oh God, man, whoa. Okay, we're not holding back anymore.
And this cover does rule the more I look at it. It looks like a 1970s sci-fi cover, and then Ridley there above Metroid. Actually,
I think you can kind of see that complex where some of the end game takes place too. I think that's what that is in the background there. Yeah. Very, very good game. Got it. I do want to play both of those again. They rule. Shoji Kodo says Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2, the solid red box art with Dave Mirra getting huge air, doing a no feather can or tail whip, absolutely iconic. Well, I also had this on PlayStation 2, and the Game Boy Advance version was just a port. I feel like the GBA version got the most use from me since I could take it on the go wherever I went. It helps that it also had a couple extra tracks included. It was my favorite of the series, so it holds a special place in my heart. I haven't played those in a long time. Octo says Mother 3 is iconic and Drill Dozer slaps, but I have to shout out the original. I can never say this Japanese name. Gaia Kuten Saiban, aka Ace Attorney, and its iconic box art. We got on the DS, but gotta respect the OG. It's sad to think it came out in 2001. Really next level shit at the time. Yeah, that is very simple and attractive. That's very good stuff there about that logo. B Traven says Mario Kart Super Circuit. I love it. As some of the last of the corny 3D render box art, highly underrated and challenging game too. Yeah, as far as 3D render box art goes, I do like this one. I like how it's kind of overlapping the Game Boy Advance side logo there. Mario looks pissed off, which is good. I like it.
Yeah, I always love the rendered Mario look. Absolutely. So, yeah, take me back.
Dr. Suss says, I never really had a GBA, but I've committed crimes. And from my digital collection, I love the Area of Sorrow box. Or Aria, excuse me. It's slick, beautiful, and the contrast between the monochrome between the monochrome art and the colorful title is epic. I can't say between. Yes, this one is good. I think I like the Harmony of Dissonance box even better. I gotta be honest. I don't know if anyone's gonna pick that. Maybe we'll see it, but it's good. Teach QC says best box art. I'm losing my ability to talk.
Your B words are going.
Good. Fits well with the best GBA game. So Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3. There it is. Remember this one came out after Yoshi's Island? I think Super Mario Advance 3 was Yoshi's Island, right?
That's right. Weird. It was weird. Well, or was it Super Mario World?
No, World was 2. It was Mario
Super
Brothers
Mario
2,
Deluxe.
then World, then Yoshi's Island, and then 3.
Yep, okay. That's right. In chat, Grizzly Tron says the chat is the real area of sorrow tonight.
So Dick Turbo for having a stroke. I think I'm okay. We'll see. This is pretty good though. I kind of like that dopey looking Luigi in the background for some reason.
Yeah, me too.
Casual says, since I was a good bean and follow the rules, despite the fact that few things make me laugh as much as upset Mike, I posted my favorite Game Boy Color cover alongside the GBA one. Oh, that Final Fantasy Tactics box, the Japanese one looks pretty nice over there.
Real good.
And then we have the Japanese Pokemon Pinball for Game Boy Color. Very cool. Oh, look at this. Johnny the Hat says, I really liked the TMNT Battle Nexus box art for Game Boy Advance. That does look kind of nice. I do like that. That's good stuff. I liked that second TMNT cartoon show. That was actually pretty good.
There's been several really good takes on TMNT.
Yeah, they usually do something interesting. Like that CG one, it looks kind of ugly to me, but apparently it was also very good.
Yeah,
and then
kids really like it.
Yeah, and then that most recent one was supposed to be pretty good. Rise of the Ninja Turtles, right? So yeah, they do good stuff there. Hosp says Pokemon has a spotty history with great legendaries. Looking at you, Scarlet and Violet, the Pokemon Emerald version with Rayquaza must be the all-time classic. I love the simplicity of it. This one does look great, and people still talk about Rayquaza a good amount, so it kind of left an impression. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Rayquaza has those good earbuds that everyone always advertises on podcasts.
Yeah.
Raycons.
Bayleaf Moon says, as I was disrespected for my correct opinion that the Game Boy Color is a separate console. I agree, Bayleaf. I'm sorry. Here is undeniably the best and actual box art for the separate system. Also, Jet Grind Radio will always have a flair to it. So, of course, its GBA box art is as good as ever. So, here's some game called 720. I mean, I know 720. This box art for Game Boy Color sure is something. Is that just a guy who worked for Midway?
Probably, yeah. That was probably just a developer, right?
Is that like the guy? Okay, you're the closest to looking like you might be 17. You're going to be in the box art. Man, I totally forgot Jet Grind Radio's on Game Boy Advance. I wonder if that's any good.
Yeah, I got to see that.
I'm kind of imagining they just copied what Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 did, and maybe it's okay. Hoping. Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, I got this game for $15 a long time ago, and I keep it to remember what Nintendo took from us. Rest in peace, F-Zero. This is F-Zero Climax. So I don't know if this is the second or the third one.
I can never keep it straight. I think it's the last one.
Yeah, there's that first one that was the launch game. Then there was like 2 based off the anime, and we only got 1 of those. But this looks pretty good. This is actually a really nice box art. I like this a lot. BetJC also says Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, says great game with great box art. Ed says the Japanese Game Boy Advance editions of Ace Attorney go hard. They remind me of ammo boxes of Resident Evil games. They do look like ammo boxes. Yeah, even the sequel ones look great. They just add a number there. That's so nice. It's like a gradient going from black to white. That's good. Bugadillo says, I've always loved the WarioWare Mega Micro Games cover. It's so colorful, and it highlights all the characters that I found so memorable while working through the game. I really dig.
Best manual as well. This game had the best manual that came with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. Look at all those goobers. I love them. Snuvkin says, as agreed, the separate platform that is Game Boy Color gets a go this week.
Boom.
Warlocked, an RTS game only released in North America, in really a hidden gem. I like the wacky fantasy cover here with the nice sword superimposed on the sidebar. Wow, look at that little triangle down there. What does that say on the bottom right? Only for Game Boy Color. Well, that's weird.
It's not weird. It happens all the time. They're only for DSi and stuff. So
calculators. I didn't have much of a relationship with Game Boy Advance back in the day. So for this, I looked through my Crimes front end and found the Game Boy Advance port of Breath of Fire 2. I thought this would indulge the Game-S audience. Whoa!
Look here. Let me get a little closer here.
Whoa! It's thigh noon over here. Whoa!
That's a high slit.
Okay, look, I played Breath of Fire 4, I think. Yeah, I played one of them. I played it through. It was fine. It was not what I would call a sexy game. Is Breath of Fire 2 like oddly sexy, or is it just the box art?
I'm sure. I bet it's just the box art.
I think it is just the box art. Yeah. I bet that sold a few more 1,000 copies. Going on.
High slits all over the place.
Please stop saying the word slit. I beg you. I beg you. Clink says, always love me a good farming game. Got all the animals and your bucket of minions. What's not to like? There's Harvest Moon. Friends of Mineral Town. This is one of the better entries in the series from what I can remember. I think I had this one. It is very good. Very good portable game. Oh, here we go. Uncharted Wolf says, the dragons on the Japanese Harmony of Dissonance box art are raw as hell. Super underrated Castlevania game. This is better than Aria Sorrow even. Look at that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I was shocked when I played through all 3 of those again. Like, I'm not saying it is my favorite, but I was shocked how much I did like Harmony of Dissonance. It does feel like it gets crapped on.
It's hard to look. I think it's just really garish looking is the only big problem with it.
It's a little garish looking with that outline, and the music is worse, and that's a big bummer. Yeah. But I still thought it was a lot of fun.
They're all good games. They're all really good games.
MonkeyBot 9K says, since Advance Wars was already mentioned, here I am again with a sick Japanese cover for Rockman EXE. This is Mega Man Battle Network for us. It just looks rad. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. There's a lot going on there, but it's pretty good. Okay, we got some good emojis down there too. Okay, look, we were completing the trifecta here. Pablo Costa says, Castlevania Circle of the Moon. The NA box art is cool and all, but the Japanese version excels by having the complete image. Also, the Akumajo Dracula kanji hiragana looks sick. I'm assuming I said all of those words exactly right.
You nailed it. You got it. You got there. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Japanese one is better because you have like Dracula in there as well. I like this one as well. I still think Harmony of Dissonance is the best of the 3.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Circle of the Moon. I mean, it's got a soft spot for me, but yeah, Harmony of Dissonance has got the best look.
Lostian says Final Fantasy Tactics Advance is my favorite box art on the GBA. This is not great. It's not too dissimilar from that Japanese one we saw earlier. Yep. Very good. Gigantes, once again, Mario and Luigi. Gigantes. Cervantes wins.
Oh my god.
Turbo Sean says, I feel like I told you all this somewhere, but oh well. Alley-ooping my boy Bop to point out how cool it is that Pokemon Mystery Dungeons DS and Game Boy Advance box arts correspond to slot 1 and slot 2 on a DS respectively. That's right. So the DS version is blue team and the Game Boy Advance version is red team. And they actually, look at that. They're looking at a hole on the top that goes down to the bottom where the Game Boy Advance slot is.
Huh. Oh, wow. Okay. That's neat.
Cute.
That's what they're looking at. Oh, okay. Fun. That goes hard.
There's your Astro Boy, Jeff.
Yep, there he is.
We did it.
There's my Astro Boy.
That was fun. Next week we will do DS games, everybody. There won't be any confusion this time. So I'm looking forward.
No DSi games. That means.
No, it would, because it's just the same platform. Yeah, there aren't going to be any anyways. Like what DSi game would people include?
Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. No, not 3DS. no, not 3DS. All right, all you jokers. Jeff, why don't you read some super chats?
You do that. Let me see here. Let me see where I left off. I'm pretty sure I read that one. I don't remember that. Okay. From Evan Conley. Is the Ninty isn't at E3 because they don't have games, reason, insider info, or conjecture that goes away the second the direct happens? I haven't heard that.
I don't think... Yeah. I haven't heard that either. I think it is just more of a strategy / planning thing. I don't think it's about their schedule.
I mean, they might not have a lot of games for this year, but they have a lot of games coming eventually. We'll see. I think they probably have a direct in June this year. Probably.
I wonder if they're going to do a Nintendo Indie World thing at GDC time like they used to do.
Because they didn't do one last year, right? At the March time
was
frame.
Still like Skeleton Crew.
Right.
I feel like this might be the first like real big GDC in a long time. So I don't know.
From Ovaltine 11. Mischief Makers. I hope it comes to Nintendo Switch Online along with other weird third-party games like Flying Dragon and Mega Man 64. Mischief Makers, another treasure game.
Mischief Makers is probably my number one. I most want on there. Kind of weird it's not. It can't be that expensive to lock that down. I don't know who published it, but it was Treasure. It was Nintendo 64 exclusive, and it was good. What are we doing here, guys? Let's get Mischief Makers on there, please.
From Gartooth, what do you think of the leak on YouTube of vouchers coming back to the U.S., and why do you think they're doing it now after they only did it in 2019? I honestly don't know. I mean, they probably will come back. They've been in other countries for a long time. Maybe they're like, hey, this will boost sales and give people it'll be like the one last thing. Like maybe we are losing some steam, but we could do a few things to get people excited with before we start like lowering the price of the Switch or something. Maybe it's something along those lines.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to think of it myself.
Yep.
I believe it. I think it's a real leak, but I don't know what it means.
From Soccer85, if I trimmed my boys with the lawnmower, my sack would look like Siamese Mikey heads. No offense, Mikey. Love you, pals.
No, that's okay. No offense. You just tell me I look like your balls.
Mm-hmm. But that's what he was doing there.
I am pretty clean on the top, though, so I'll take it as a compliment for how great those Manscaped products are. Use the promo code MESS. Save 20% off and get free shipping.
Worldwide. From Burrito. Guys, I finally subbed to the Patreon. Hey, shout out. We got another one, everybody. Thank you, Burrito. Now I can stop giving Google my money and instead hand it over to your new shaven Sisyphean overlords. Yeah, absolutely. Make it happen.
Thank you.
We appreciate that, Burrito.
I know that word.
No manure. Will you be talking about the Halo news? No. I've talked about it on Bombcast today. Go listen to that. We talked about some of it on Game S Decides last Thursday. More news has happened since then, obviously. We'll talk about it on Thursday. Look out for that.
We'll talk about it a bit on Thursday, but yeah, it's been talked about a lot, and it's I don't know, it's almost exhausting, especially as somebody who liked Halo Infinite fine,
right.
Like more than fine for a while.
Jason Schreier was like, despite reports to the contrary, 343 is still working on it, and they're like, but they're not working on it. What the hell are you talking about? What is this? All he did was confirm all those rumors, and I don't know why he phrased it like that. So because it is the same rumor, just now confirmed basically by Jason Schreier. So we have kind of already talked about it. From Iron Mike, news said Greg Miller got cream pied. Is he okay? I mean,
well, he's pregnant now.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
With JBL's baby.
JBL, proud papa. From the Uncharted Wolf, do y'all eat the pizza crust?
Yeah. What am I, 5?
I do, but I'm like worried there's something we're missing here.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people just don't eat it. That's all.
Sometimes I do. If it's especially dry, I don't.
Even if it's pretty dry, I'll try to eat it. It's just bread.
I try it. I definitely try it, and I like bread. Yes, I try, but it's like I used to always eat all the pizza. I'd ask my like, hey, are you gonna eat? No, I'll eat your pizza crust. Sure, I was a little garbage pail. But as I get older, it's like, I don't know if I need to like be struggling and trying to wet my throat so I could just guzzle down some of this bread here. Maybe I could just leave it on the plate.
I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, I know you love to guzzle. From Uriel Delgado, do you think Kojima's overdose will be good? I hope so. I honestly don't know. I'm not necessarily in the world of underestimating Kojima. I think he delivers more often than he doesn't, but it's not like he's not exactly James Cameron where people underestimate him and then every time it's going to be a fucking home run. So
it's so funny that people underestimated Way of the Water. I'm glad too I'm glad that weird like guy who looks like an Alex Jones listener, that Navi is like a meme just so that we can finally have a meme. Just for the people like, well, Avatar doesn't matter because there aren't any memes.
That's there was another one of those stories this week where it's like it's making money and nobody cares, and I'm just
like, the cultural relevance.
I'm like, you have to stop.
A movie?
Yeah, honestly, the cultural relevance now is you guys talking about how it has no cultural relevance, and you can't stop having that conversation. It's like, and it's just kind of weird at this point.
Actually, it's like a plus with Avatar at this point that I don't have to read a million things about it
Absolutely.
on Twitter every Sunday night when a new episode drops. Oh my God, help me.
That does it for the super chats, Mike. I'm gonna hand this back over to you.
Jeff, you been playing any Nintendo games? I mean, I've been just playing more Fire Emblem Engage, which I'm still just enjoying. I think I kind of talked about that a bit. How's the Mike Tyson Punch-Out thing going?
I beat Mike Tyson.
Wow, I missed it. I gotta go watch that VOD now. That's good. Good job, Jeff. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. It was I knew I was getting there. I had a couple close calls during my attempts today. I beat him today. So here I am. After 30 years of playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I have finally actually beaten the game for real. It's pretty wild. But now I need to actually go through and beat it all in one go. I started learning some of those things that you need to do that. And so, this is pretty easy stuff. So I have the strats for about half the game now. And the cool thing about Punch-Out is to get on the board for what I want to do, you basically just have to beat it all the way one time without ever dying, without ever losing a fight. So if you just beat it, and it doesn't matter how slow or fast you go, because there's not like a lot of people on that board. If I could just beat it through without dying, I can get on the board so I can have my speed run count. And I'm like, well, I could definitely do that now. So that's the battle now, is to get good enough with Tyson that I can beat him consistently, which I'm going to work on. I do think my controllers actually were causing some problem. I was getting a lot of Eden inputs with this ultimate controller, which I'm like disappointed by. I'm like, Mike Tyson needs to be my new test now. I'm going to go play Tyson, play some other stuff, and see if I can beat Tyson. And if I can't with that D-pad, that might be a sign that this D-pad's not perfect. So yeah, it's been really cool sort of figuring that game out. The game's timeless, and we talked about it before, but it really truly is a timeless game that anyone can go to today. And even if you don't have any affinity for NES games, you'll still find something to like about Punch-Out.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting an itch to go back to it myself at some point. Apparently, the NSO version maybe isn't great in terms of input lag. So
yeah, that's what they said. I was going to give it a shot, but I'll tell you what, it's a game that works really well with RetroArch, because RetroArch has that good latency where it's called like run back or whatever, where when you press a button,
netcode,
kind of, it's like when you press a button, essentially what it does is it erases 2 frames immediately. You don't even notice it. It just, what it feels like is the punch happens instantaneously. And so it feels like almost like zero lag. So it's really, really, it's kind of perfect. It feels like a CRT. So I was playing stuff that way after I beat it on the Analog Pocket, which is another fine way to play it. But it just works really well with RetroArch because they have all the safe stuff built in, and it works really well.
All right, Jeff. Well, it sounds like we're wrapping up. I see we got one more super chat. Let's not miss them this time, huh?
Yes. All right. So let's see, from In Hero of Time. That's how they wrote it. What about best console box art? Play it loud. Rawr. We did that. Hey, do we have some good news for you, A Hero of Time? We got some.
Did we do best console box?
Well, we did best.
Like specifically for like a console, I think. Like this, I guess not the Super Nintendo games. Like the Super Nintendo system box versus the GameCube box.
Okay. No. Yeah. Well, maybe we could do that. That'd be fun.
But that's almost more like a poll or something, because that isn't interesting. I'm not sure what my favorite would be.
It probably is that Super Nintendo Play It Loud. I love that shit. It's like so stupid 90s, but
I bet you did play it loud.
I did, but I definitely played it loud.
Obnoxiously loud.
Very, just a truly obnoxious child.
Yes, Nick, we did shave our balls. Thank you for asking. You can too.
Yeah, shout out.
Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code MESS and save 20% off your order and get free shipping worldwide.
I have another sponsor here pretty soon, Mike. I gotta respond to something. Yeah, we'll see.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We're the sponsored Beef and Cheddar boys.
That's right. Exactly. I'm excited about this one too. So
is it a penis pill?
It's not. Hey, man, listen, if we got penis pills, I'd be so excited. Big Pharma, come pay us. But Mike, yeah, that's all I've really been playing on Nintendo stuff. I want to get back to Fire Emblem Engage. I am going to beat Hi-Fi Rush though. I have too much momentum going with that game. It's too good. I want to beat Hi-Fi Rush. Great. I want to see every song in the game. Basically, is where I'm at. With like, I don't want to miss out on that soundtrack. And then I will go back to Fire Emblem Engage. And then I guess maybe we'll get a direct soon, and we'll get some surprise shadow drops and stuff, and we'll see.
Yeah, maybe you'll get your Advance Wars. Yeah, I'm kind of like
Advance Wars.
I'm sort of doing that with Dead Space. Like I'm not playing Dead Space till I beat Hi-Fi Rush.
Yes, Dead Space is another one I want to go play. Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of games
for sure. Yeah, it's crazy for January.
Yep.
Here we go. I'm like relieved Forspoken doesn't seem like something I want to play. So
yep,
it's easy for me.
Right. I kind of do want to see Forspoken because I heard the ending is just 2 hours of walking forward and hitting A to go through dialogue. And I'm like, I have to see that for myself, but I should probably just watch a video.
That's incredible because that kind of like happened in Final Fantasy 15 and they got criticized and had to change it. So they just did that again. Wow.
Going back to the well. Hey, it worked. It worked in Final Fantasy 15.
All right, baby.
All right, Mike, I'm going to hit the button.
Hit that button, please. Jeff, we are going to be back on Thursday with Game at the Sides. I think we're both doing some wrestling talking this week too,
Our Bombcast is happening. Yeah, we're going to record it. We might stream it live. I have no idea.
Is that Thursday also?
We're doing that Thursday. Yeah, Thursday at 2 p.m. I think.
That'll be fun. Talk about the Royal Rumble. I'll yell at you about the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. It'll be a good time for all.
Yeah, so it was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Don't do that. It's just gonna be like a freaking Elden Ring. Like, well, it's a bad game, but that's why.
Listen. It might not be that clever.
Yeah, you're a genius.
All right, I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter and Twitch, and I'm gonna be streaming some more here pretty soon. Look out for that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm ready to get back on that grind. Other than that, though, I don't know. We'll be back on Thursday. Tune in. I do a lot of shows with Mike. Stay tuned to this channel, everybody. Come watch us. Bye.
We're doing things. Things are happening.
Naughty, don't eat ass. You hate to see it.
Oh, getting to see this is slander. Don't make me tell you all about me eating ass. You don't, then you'll complain. It's ass eating season. It's ass eating season. There you go.
Didn't Greg Miller get cream pied?
Oh, Michael.